everyone, welcome back to the Lavender Bergamot Kitchen. We are talking about ways to build up your immune system for, it's fall right now, but winter is coming. So something I like to do every year, and I've been doing it for a while, is make fire cider. Fire cider is a traditional herbal recipe, which means there can be a lot of variation. You should make it how you like it, because if this is something you're going to be eating and feeding your family, you want it to taste good to yourself. So, but the name fire cider kind of indicates that we're making something spicy. There's lots of spicy vegetables and herbs, and what spice does is kind of help clean your blood and your circulatory system, gets everything kind of moving inside of you. We also have some things to help build up your immune system, so to help you not get sick. So, okay, so let's just dive in, I guess. I've already chopped everything up. So I'm gonna start with one onion. I used a yellow onion, but you can use whatever you like best. I actually like sweet onions best, but I thought it's fire cider, so let's get a spicier onion. So probably I would recommend using a canning funnel now that I'm doing this and don't have one. That would be really helpful. Oh my gosh, magic! That's what happens when you work with people that are full of magic. Okay, so that is one whole onion. And then I have garlic. This is kind of a whole bulb of garlic, so probably 8 to 10 cloves that I just sliced. You don't have to worry about chopping stuff up super small, but you do want it to be able to move around inside the container. So you want to chop it a little bit. It also, cutting plants, you get more surface area. You cut open those cell walls, and that releases all the good things about the plants. Then I have ginger. I love ginger. So this is kind of a lot. This is probably like a length that big. And I cut it in half, and then I sliced it. We're so lucky to have, at our farmer's market, we have a farmer that grows ginger. And if you can find super fresh ginger, there is nothing like it. It kind of energizes you from the inside. But grocery store ginger is just as good. The other thing, it's kind of like ginger, is turmeric. So I'm using fresh turmeric. It looks a lot like ginger, but it's a little more orange or yellow on the inside. Fresh turmeric, again, is just kind of its own unique flavor. If you cannot find fresh turmeric, which a lot of grocery stores do have now, it is fine to use the powdered. I would say maybe 1 to 2 tablespoons. Okay, and then keeping on with the spicy stuff, I have, also I should mention, so I'm using 2 cutting boards because the turmeric will die. If you have a nice cutting board, do not cut turmeric on it. Use one that you don't care as much about. This is horseradish. It is one of the spicier kinds of radish, and it is often used in fire cider. I got a piece about that long. I peeled it, and then I just loosely chopped it. Toss that in. Radishes, and especially horseradish, can be bitter. So I don't always use it. If it's something you don't like the flavor of, and it's going to keep you from using your fire cider, just leave it out. If you like it though, use as much as you want. Then I have a chili pepper. This is a serrano, which is usually just a little bit spicier than a jalapeno. Actually, I have one. This is what it looks like. It's a little bit more narrow. I really like the flavor of it, so it's kind of my go-to pepper. Okay, so that's most of the spicy stuff. The other stuff I'm going to add is, I like to add citrus. So I have one whole small lemon that I cut in half and then sliced. I only pulled out the seeds that were really easy to pull out. So I'm not too worried about the seeds because I'm going to strain it anyway. And then a lot of times I add an orange, but it's not quite orange season here. I think we're getting close. But I did find a grapefruit. So to set an example of how you can do whatever you want and you can experiment, I've never actually used grapefruit in fire cider before, but I love grapefruit. And so I thought, why not give it a try? So I'm not using the pith, because in grapefruit there's a lot of pith, which is the white part. I'm using the peel, and in citrus fruit, most of the vitamin C is in the peel. So if you're making an herbal remedy like this and you want vitamin C, you want to use the peel, because you're really missing out if you don't use it. That's true for all the citruses. And then I just cut these little rounds after cutting the pith off. So I'm just gonna toss those in. I thought lemongrass would be really good, specifically with the grapefruit. So this is kind of a big stalk of lemongrass that I've just sliced into little rings. And then the last thing I have is a little bit of rosemary. It's like a stalk or two of rosemary that I've just pulled the leaves off of. And again, it's a little bit of an experiment, just using the rosemary and the lemongrass. We'll see how that goes. You can also use sage, thyme, oregano, any of those kind of resiny herbs they're all antibacterial, antiviral. They're gonna kind of just give your immune system a little boost. So that's all the plants. I'm going to add a little bit of honey. And the honey is to taste, and we will be adjusting it later after it steeps for several weeks. So I'm just gonna do maybe half a cup of honey-ish. The great thing about making traditional herbal recipes is you can do whatever you want. It's yours. Make it how you want. So if you like things really sweet, add more honey. If I wouldn't add zero honey, just because it is going to help all of these flavors kind of meld together. It's kind of pull them all together, because it's going to be really spicy and it's going to be really tart because I'm adding vinegar. So I'm adding apple cider vinegar, which I cannot open. There we go. And this, I'm just going to put it to the top. So you can see I filled it up about 2/3 to 3/4. That's what you want. If you're going to be using all this vinegar, which you paid for, you want to steep a lot of stuff into it. But this stuff might expand a little bit. So you do want to leave a little bit of space at the top. And then this is, I'm going to, so I have parchment because I have a metal lid. I'm gonna give this a shake. And remember, there's all that honey in there. So shaking it's gonna help that mix in. It's gonna kind of get the infusing started. And then if there's a little honey left in there, that's okay. It's gonna dissolve over time. And I'm gonna shake this every day for probably the next month. And then I'm gonna taste it. And if I think it's ready to go, I'm gonna strain it at that point. If it needs a little more honey, I'll add a little more honey. If the flavors are still very, very strong and bold, I'm gonna let it sit a little bit longer. But that's it. And look how beautiful it is. In a couple of days, everything's gonna start losing its color. It's gonna start turning brown. But I just love how it looks when you first make it. It's so beautiful. Once you strain this, the main way I use it is if I feel like I need a little immune boost, I'll take a spoonful, or maybe even a spoonful every day once, you know, it's really cold outside and everyone around you is kind of sick. I also use it as the vinegar and salad dressing, or I add a little bit if I'm cooking kale or other kinds of greens. If once I get sick, I will take a spoonful of this every hour for like the first 2 or 3 days. I'll do a spoonful of this, and then I'll alternate with a spoonful of elderberry syrup every hour. I'll drink soup, and I'll also drink a cup of whatever kind of tea, any kind of tea, a cup every hour. So I'm getting really hydrated. I'm like ramping up with my remedies, and then I just rest. And when I started doing this, I haven't been sick for a few years, but the last time I was sick, it was the most comfortable I ever was as a sick person, because this is what I started doing immediately. So I recommend giving it a try. People love getting this as a gift, so make a little extra and give some away. And thanks for watching, and like and subscribe our page to see more of our videos, and hope you stay well this season.